Welcome back to the Owatonna Coaches Show. Again, I'm Mark Arjes, the Youth First Director, and actually I'm one of the JV baseball coaches here in Owatonna. And you can find the Coaches Show on local cable channel 8 and 20. Look at OwatonnaBaseball.com on the internet, blip.tv on the internet, and also for Facebook, search Owatonna Baseball or Youth First, and you'll find our YouTube clips. Again, we want to thank our baseball sponsors, Bremer Bank, Coles Electric, Federated Insurance, Harlan's Tire and Auto, Hometown Credit Union, Jostens, Cato Roofing, King Orthodontics, Legacy Signs, Oakview Nursery, Owatonna Bus Cavalier Coaches. Been kind of nice having them. We've had some coaches to ride in here lately. That's been kind of nice. Owatonna Chiropractic Association, Stoics Plumbing, Taco John's, Triumph Graphics, U.S. Bank, Walzer Chevrolet, Wells Fargo, the World of Wheels, Waseca Chrysler Center, and the ZAP Agency all here in Owatonna, and we thank them again for their support of the Coaches Show and Owatonna Baseball. So we're here again with head coach Tate Cummins and assistant coach Brian Price. And I thought one other interesting thing to start this segment would be tell them a little bit about your day job here, now that you're at the high school here finally, and tell them a little bit about what you do at OHS.
Yeah, I'm a business teacher here at the high school, and right now I'm teaching a variety of classes, econ, interactive multimedia, word processing 1 and also 2, a little personal finance at times. So, the plate is heavy. It's very nice. I'm on an overload this quarter. And so it's baseball in 4 periods a day, and wouldn't have it any other way. It's been a very, very nice year.
So you planned that overload, is what I'm hearing?
No, I didn't. But I'll accept it. We've had great kids in our classes.
Yeah, good.
And so that makes the job that much better. So.
Awesome. How about you, Brian?
I work as a school psychologist. My main office is here at the high school, and then I also work at Washington Elementary and McKinley Elementary, and then coach a little baseball on the side.
So do you rotate like every day or a week? Or
No, it's more of an as-need basis. Unfortunately, our elementary schools are quite full, so I don't even actually have any office space, dedicated office space, so like I'll use the conference room or those types of things. I used to have office space in each of the elementaries, but it's just they continue to expand.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what does a school psychologist do?
Well, a variety of things. I mean, primarily we do assessments for special education services, but then you'll also do some counseling with students, crisis intervention if a student is having a tough day. A lot of times I work with teachers, developing plans to help kids be successful. Talk to parents either in conference or on phone calls, just about a variety of things. At the high school level, you have students with mental health concerns, depression, anxiety, other conditions that you help them with. And then even at the elementary school, we do work with kids with mental health illnesses at even that young of an age. And so helping parents find resources to help them not only in school but out of school.
Yeah, which is it's a great resource for parents to have, I would think, and teachers too. So that's excellent. I just honestly didn't know. I thought people probably don't know what you do.
No, I remember when I got done with high school. When I started looking at school psychology, I never knew that we had school psychologists in school. So
yeah, very good. Well, also let's talk about that piece and relate it back to baseball maybe a little bit, because one of the things that Coach brought in this year was the Brian Kane and peak performance piece and all that. And I know we kind of messed with you a little bit, calling you the mentalist on that part of it, but I know you really thought that was a great approach. And so how do you maybe talk about some of those things that we've learned and talk with the kids about how to connect the dots on some of those theories that he put forth, and how do you see that working in the game now with the baseball players?
Yeah, the nice thing with the peak performance is I think we've since I started coaching, there's always that mental part. I think with Yogi Berra's quote of I won't go through it, but anyway, you're always looking at that. But I've always we've had pieces of it, and where the peak performance and the Brian Kane information really is a pretty complete package that you can look at for students and for ball players. So it works with, how to prepare for the game, how to play in the game, and then also how to handle the game after you're done. And the great thing about sports to me always is you're learning about a game and you get to play a game, but it teaches you a lot of life lessons too. And so that's really what I like about some of these things that we're working with kids is how to handle preparing for what the task is. So if it's pitching, being able to going through a routine, getting a routine down, and then executing the pitch. What am I thinking about before I pitch? Hopefully not a lot, but just a single word or a single thought. And then once you've made the pitch, what do I do if I'm successful, or if I fail? What do I need to do to handle that? So we had a case the other day with one one of our pitchers, he didn't get a couple of calls, threw a couple of fastballs right on the corner, didn't get the calls. He got upset and went out and talked to him during the inning, and he, of course, couldn't really pinpoint it at that time. Came back in, we talked about it in between innings, and he kind of, at that point, it kind of sunk in that, you know what, I probably let those close calls get to me.
Right.
And so, we talked about that. He went out the next inning. Again, I think it was a 1-0 or something like that, threw a ball right on the corner, didn't get the call, but settled right down. And I don't know if it was a 1-2-3 inning, but I think maybe 4 hitters he faced that inning.
Sure.
So we talked about it afterwards, and I said, what was the difference? And he said, you know what, I just said I'm going to have a short memory. I'm just going to forget about that last pitch and get after it. And that's huge. So
It is.
that's
yeah.
some of the things that we worked on with Brian Kane
Right.
and working on what they did. So it's really nice to see that. So it's good to have those
So
get
how
that
does that
success.
relate to like some of the other things you're seeing, like maybe on defense or even with hitters? Are you seeing that's the same type of
Yeah,
thing?
for sure. Every at bat's going to be different, and whether you get the call or you don't get the call, not letting things get to you, being able to, if the call doesn't go your way, take that deep breath. Maybe you need to step out of the box, regather yourself, and get ready for the next pitch. Live in that present moment. And so I think we've seen, our hitters come up to the plate, and we've seen them deal with that adversity and being able to, see them take that deep breath and gather themselves and get ready for that next pitch has been big for us.
And I know then also alongside the mental piece of it is there's a whole bunch of extra data we're tracking this year, and talking about things like quality at bats instead of batting average. And how are some of those things? What are the kind of things you're looking
Yeah, the difficulty with the batting average, I think last year we had one player hit 300. And, a lot of players chase that batting average, and it doesn't tell you everything. A batting average is important if you have a guy on second, 2 outs, and you need that hit. That's a place where you can probably look at batting average. But for the most part, it doesn't tell you everything about that player. Take our leadoff hitter, for example, Carter McCauley. Whether he has the batting average or not, he's a player that is able to reach base a ton of the time. I think he's had 8 walks so far. Add in his hits or being hit by a pitch, he sets it up for us really nice. And so it's a way for players to track their performance, not looking at a batting average all the time. Your QABs, we want to look for that percentage, about 65%. And so it's a higher percentage. There's 10 different things you can do to get a quality at bat, whether it's taking a walk, hitting a ball hard. If you hit a ball hard, if you line out to the shortstop, you still get a quality at bat.
Right.
And so we're looking at our roster and our players from that aspect where that matters. And they know they go up to the plate and they hit that line out, it still counts for them.
So you're getting them some positive feedback
Yeah.
on something that before they might looked at as a negative, but not. And it's also about controlling what you can control, right? Isn't that
Yeah,
part of it,
absolutely.
too?
There's times where you hit it perfectly and you're out.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
There's times where you move a runner over to third base from second with less than 2 outs, and that's a big deal for us. Getting a bunt down is another big deal. Jake Bellina had a 12-pitch at bat against Austin, and that was one of the things that really helped us. If you're seeing a lot of pitches, that's going to help the person coming up after you. And so that's another area that we can, you can get a tally for a quality at bat.
Awesome. So I know you've got one other grid in front of you here that's interesting, the base 2 piece, and how does that fit in?
Yeah, base 2, it's a program that really helps you look at the game as it's going. There's 5 different elements that we track. The base 2, to go in order, big inning. If you score more than 2 runs, you get a check mark.
Yep.
If you get scored on, so if we're the home team and our starter goes out and gives up a run, and we're able to answer on the second part of that inning, we get an answer back. We get a tally there.
Yep.
If we score first, the percentages tell us if we score first, the likelihood for us to get that game is probably about 60-70%.
Yep.
And we can extend our lead.
Yep.
We can score with 2 outs.
Yep.
And so we look at those 5 things. If we get 3 out of 5, it tells us we have about 85-90% chance to win the game.
Yeah.
So far, out of the 7 games, the one game that we've lost, we're 1 out of 5. All the others, we were greater than 3 out of 5.
That's awesome. So it's a lot of things about momentum and putting yourself in a chance with the opportunity to succeed is kind of what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. Well, great. Well, hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate your time tonight and taking some time. And we're going to be looking for sun and 70 degrees on Saturday.
Yep, let's do it.
We'll see you on the next segment.